Hello you guys, it is me, it is I. Hi, today we're gonna be doing a video that I've been wanting to make for a long time and I just haven't gotten around to it, but we're finally doing it today. We are going to be reacting to my 24 books that I want to read in 2024 to see if I actually read all of these books, because I'm curious as to how many of these books we actually read. So we're gonna be watching this video and I will be reacting to it. Yes, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first book that I'm going to talk about is a book that I actually DNF'd in 2023, and that is this one, The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. It is about our main character whose name is Florence Day, and she is a ghostwriter. Basically, she's a ghostwriter for this big writer. And then she ends up getting a new boss, right? That's like really handsome. He's really great. Yeah. And Florence Day has just gotten out of a breakup. So she tells this man that she doesn't feel like writing happy, cheesy romance endings. And this guy's like, I don't give a shiznit. Okay? I don't give a shiznit about your relationship. You got a job to do, so you got to do it. As this is happening, she finds out that her father passed away and her father owned this like funeral home. And so she has to go back to obviously put her father to rest. Okay, it's already like a minute and 9 seconds in, so I should have already told you guys now. But so I'll tell you before the book starts. Yes, I did finish The Dead Romantics, and it was one of my 5 stars. It was one of my top reads of 2025. Actually, everything that I have read by Ashley Poston so far has been like a 5-star read for me. Amazing book. It talks about grief, talks about love, it's so good. Like, I really enjoyed it, and this is definitely, like, if you're a fan of the Mediator series by Meg Cabot, like I grew up on these as a teenager, highly recommend. It was so good. So I'm already telling you what it's about, but highly recommend it. 5-star book for me. I did read this one, so good job, Ivy, good job. To obviously put her father to rest, and Florence Day actually has a gift. She has the gift to talk to spirits, and it's done nothing but cause her trouble, so she tries not to talk about it. She doesn't want to mention it, and so she goes to this town to go see, you know, her father and set up the funeral arrangements, when there's a knock on their door, and who's there other than the editor, and he's dead. The guy that she works for is dead. And now Florence has no choice but to help him out, figure out what happened and how to help him pass through it. It's really good, okay? It's about a girl who falls in love with a ghost. Not only the cover and the synopsis, but the synopsis also reminds me of Mediator series by Meg Cabot, which is like my favorite series when I was a teenager. I was obsessed. I finished the whole thing. I even finished the ones that she made later on when they're adults. So good. So good. I loved it so much. So I know I would love this book. I just haven't picked it up again. Next, we have The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. Olivia Blake? And the reason why I want to read this, pausing it there. No, I did not read The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. And the reason why, I actually DNF'd. I bought book 1, 2, and 3, and I actually unhauled all 3 of them because I did a reading vlog where I read Dark Academia for the first time, and I'll post it somewhere here. And I did not like one single book from that genre. And The Atlas 6, as I was saying before my camera completely cut me off, it's mixed reviews. It's like a 3.6 on Goodreads. And so just because of that, and knowing how I already feel about the Dark Academia genre, even with the books that are so beloved, I was like, you know what, I don't even want to give this a chance, just because it's probably going to be a DNF, and there's so many other books that I could know for sure, like, or have a feeling that I would like, and this is just not one of them. And this is before, obviously, that I read the Dark Academia genre, so I was hesitant from the very beginning, but now I know for sure I'm probably not gonna like these. This is because this is a Dark Academia book, and I love Dark Academia music, so why not just dive into this and see if I enjoy this? I don't know what this is about. Yeah, I'm probably gonna skip over The Atlas 6, and I'm gonna go into the next book. The third book that I want to read in 2024 is Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. Why I want to read this is because not only have I heard amazing, I have not read Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. Did I attempt it? Yes. I got about 30 pages in and I was just so intimidated by its size. Even if I did get the audiobook, but even then I'm just so intimidated by its size that I just would pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down until I'm like, you know what? This is not gonna happen right now. I didn't unhaul it because I really do want to read this. Our ratios, we've only read one of the three. 1/3 of the book so far, so we're not doing great. But I'll still put the synopsis in because I am still interested in reading this one. And I still have it in my library, so here's a synopsis for it if you guys want to see what the synopsis is because not only have I heard amazing, tremendous things, but I know that the second book is coming out, Empire of the Damned or something like that, and I really want to read it. But from what I know, tell me if I'm wrong, okay? Because I'm just basing this off of my memory. Is that this book is about a empire where humans once ruled it and there were vampire hunters, but now all the vampires have ended up killing all the vampire hunters and only one remains, and it is, I'm assuming, this guy, and this guy is basically about to be killed, but before he is killed he tells his life story up until that point. That's what I think this is about. I've heard that it's great. I've got a lot of big books. Side note, okay? I've got a lot of big books. I might be overly, I don't know, pushing it in 2024, but it's fine. It's fine. And this is a high fantasy, and I really want to start reading more high fantasy just because I found that I love romantasy, and I love especially the fantasy elements of romantasy, so I want to read more high fantasy. Coming in at number 4, this book was in my list last year and it is here again, and I'm going to make sure that I read this, okay? It's an investment, okay? It's Zodiac Academy by Carolyn Peckham. Zodiac Academy I actually have read. I am now on book 3. Yeah! So good job. Like, I actually finally did pick this up. I had that book in my library since like 2022, and I was telling myself I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna pick it up, but I never did until finally 2024 rolled around and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna give it a shot, and it was great. The first book, I think the first 2 I rated 5 stars. I honestly think the second book is even better than the first. So just the fact, knowing that it just gets better and better and better from what I heard, it gets better and better and better. It's great. It's great. Like, I really enjoyed it. The writing, I've heard things about the writing, and I got it before it was mass market published, so, or traditionally published. So I do have the book with like all the typos and stuff. So know that if you get the original without the publishing company, it has a lot of typos. But if you can look past that, it's great. So I know that it's an investment. I know that, okay? But I really did enjoy the House of Night series, which is like an academy about vampires. So I have a feeling that I would really enjoy this series if I read it. I know that it's about like these 2 twin girls and they go to this academy. And that's all I know. That's all I know. And there's something with like magic or superpowers, or not superpowers, magic. There's something with magic, and then there's like a shifter. Okay, so reading vlog is coming. Literally the reading vlog, the title of my reading vlog is I took a year to read all of Zodiac Academy, because I'm reading like the series, the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac series. I'm reading the Zodiac Academy series. There's another series, and then at the end, like Neverkeep. So I know that this series is a commitment, which is why I want to take my time with it. But I did not explain the synopsis well at all. So basically, if you guys don't know, Zodiac Academy, we're following 2 twin sisters, Tori and Darcy, and they always grew up thinking that they are humans, and they grew up struggling in life until the day that they find out that they are actually long lost fae princesses. And in order to claim their inheritance, like the money that they have, because they're actually really rich, they're princesses, they have to go back to Zodiac Academy and learn to use their powers and all that and inherit the throne in order to get their inheritance. But when they get there, there is actually already princes who didn't even know that these princesses were alive. So they were getting ready to take the throne, and they're like, what the heck? Like, you guys didn't even know that you were fae up until now. How are you gonna rule a town, a world that you don't even know anything about? And so they give them a hard time and all this stuff. So what I heard this is about is that it's about like two people. So we have this woman, and then we have her fiance, her sister's fiance or something like that. It's like her sister's fiance or her sister's significant other. And they end up getting kidnapped together, and they are forced to do all these crazy acts. And what this killer, this serial killer, likes to do is he likes to make these two people fall in love and do all these acts until they fall in love, and then he ends up killing them in front of each other. And that's all I know that it's about. And it's obviously a dark romance, but the concept is so extremely unique that I'm like, I need to read this. I need to read this. I just, that's it. End of story. I need to read this. So this book I actually rated a 5 out of 5 star. It was one of my top 10 books. So far, all of these books that I put in my 24 books to read in 2024, they were all books that I was like, sure, like, okay, this is going to be a 5-star read. Or a high star read at least 4 or 5 star. And that one was definitely a 5-star read. It was so good. It was so good. It was so intense. It had me feeling all these emotions. I read it in a vlog. I can't remember what reading vlog, but I'll put it around here when I know. It's literally about dealing with trauma. So I loved that book a lot. So that was great. That was great. So that was that one. Let's keep going. Number 6, we have From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I don't know what this is about. I think this is the one. She has so many series now. She has like prequels. Okay. I did read From Blood and Ash. Yeah! So we're down to 4 out of 6. We're doing great. I did not like this book at all. It is about a maiden, and her name is Poppy, and Poppy basically is sent to be like sacrificed or whatever. She's basically raised to be given to the gods, and this man ends up protecting her. And so she decides, before she's going to be this maiden, that she wants to live her life on the edge just for a few days before she really develops herself, because she knows she's not going to have a life. So, and her life is all controlled for her. So she decides to go to like a brothel, and she meets this guy, and she has a crazy night. And we see him later on, and then she ends up getting a bodyguard who may be familiar looking. And it's more than that. The only thing is, I don't know if it was a case of like right book, wrong time, but I just didn't like it. The main character was really annoying. I just was not into the story. I just did not like it, which sucks because I really wanted to, and I heard that the main MC was compared to Astarion from Baldur's Gate, so I was so desperately trying to enjoy this book. This actually ended up in one of my worst books of 2024, unfortunately. Coming in hot, we've got The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. This is the sequel to The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. We're doing great. Yes, I read Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. Yeah! Was it like fantastic? No, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. But I read it. It wasn't terrible. And which is basically like, picture like Hunger Games with vampires thrown in there. And we follow our main character, and she is the adopted daughter of a vampire king, even though she herself is a human, and humans in this world are viewed as like scum. They're viewed as food. Like, they're not viewed highly, okay? And we follow her as she tries to defeat all the vampires in this challenge so that she could get her wish from the goddess. And this is a second book to that series. I loved the book. I hated the ending. I was so disappointed with the ending. And I've heard very mixed reviews on this one, but I do have it, so I'm gonna read it. Alright, so coming in at number 8, we have The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. I didn't read The Stardust Thief. No, I didn't read The Stardust Thief. Nor do I mean, I guess I can add it to my list, but I don't know. I think I was trying to read more high fantasy, and obviously I did not. Let's move on to the next one. Coming in at number 9, we have A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. Rebecca Ross is the author of Divine Rivals, which is a book that literally like people went crazy for. I don't even know why I said that, because I didn't even read Divine Rivals. I have it. I have both. I did not read Divine Rivals, nor did I touch A River Enchanted. Did I want to? Yes. I wanted to read more high fantasy, and I still did not. However, it's a YA, and I'm not a fan of YA, so I haven't picked it up, nor do I think I'm going to. But this one is that's a lie. I have it. I don't read YA, but I was gifted the first one and was told to read it. And so I ended up getting the second one too, because I trust this person's judgment. One is a adult fantasy novel, so I am very intrigued by it. I heard it's like slow at first, but it has like a beautiful, like the way that it's written is very beautiful. So I'm excited for it. And I don't know what it's about. I think it has to do with friends and like friendship. And that's all I know. The next, still don't know what it's about. This book that I'm going to talk about is a nonfiction, and this is the Full Spirit Workout. This is a 10-step. No, I have not read that. That I really want to read is Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I did read that one. Yes. Yeah! So I did read Assistant to the Villain, and I actually gave it 4 stars. I did enjoy it. I thought it was a very cute, cozy fantasy, very slow burn romantasy. I liked it. And I still have yet to read the second book. I have the second book, but I have yet to read it. It's a good story. Like, is it something that's like going to be top tier? No, but I did really enjoy it still. She is basically like a TikTok sensation. She had this whole series where she was like thirsty for this villainous character, and she's his assistant, and she decided to make a book based off of the series. I got the sprayed edges, which I think is so awesome, and it just looks good. Okay, it just looks interesting. It looks like a very fascinating concept, like a thirsty. This is when I was first barely starting to collect sprayed edges. Now it's like out of control. Very fascinating concept, like a thirsty assistant to a villain. Like, yes, give it, yeah, for sure. That's all I need to know. It's a yes. Okay, and the cover, gorgeous. So the next book that I want to talk about is Babel by R.F. Kuang. This is another one. This one, I did attempt it. It was in that Dark Academia vlog, and I actually DNF'd it. So I am counting this as read because I attempted it, nor will I ever continue it. So we're at 7 out of 12 because I'm counting that I tried. I just could not get into it. Next we have Year of the Witch, I can't talk. Connecting with Nature's Seasons Through Intuitive Magic by Tempest Alden. And I think she's a YouTuber, if I'm not mistaken. But I didn't read this. I wanted to. I have not read it. I did put it back on my TBR cart for this year because I really do want to attempt to read it. The next book that I want to read is A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose. We got a few nonfiction. We're at 50-50 here because I have not read A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle at all. I don't know why I put so many nonfictions. I was attempting to read 12 nonfictions, so like 1 nonfiction each month. Didn't work. It's so hard because I try to prioritize my fictional reads over my non-fictional reads because I know that for my fictional reads, I have reading vlogs and all these things planned for it versus nonfiction. I don't really have too many ideas for it, nor do I think people are as interested in nonfiction books as they would be with fiction books. So that's what makes it so hard, especially being a content creator, to read books like this. Even though I want to, it's hard. Point being, I didn't get to this one. And then next we have Journey to the Dark Goddess, How to Return to Your Soul. I don't know what this is about. I know that this is again another like spiritual nonfiction about the Dark Goddess. No, we're at 7 of 15 now because I have not read Journey to the Dark Goddess either. Another one that, yes, I really want to read this, but another one that I have not. And this is a thin book, but like I said, it's so hard for me to prioritize nonfiction books just because, again, content creation. It's so much easier to create content with fictional books versus nonfiction. So I've not read this. It is a thin book, so I will attempt it. My goal is to try to read 6 nonfiction books this year instead of 12, because obviously 12 was way too much. I think I only read like 1. So I'm going to try half of that and see if I can accomplish that. And then last nonfiction, you guys, last nonfiction. We have The Confidence Code by Katty Kay and Claire Shipman, The Science and Art. Obviously, I was overconfident in how many nonfiction books I put because I haven't read that either. I have not read that either. So we are at 7 out of 16 now, but cry. The next book that I want to read is Blood on the Tracks by Shuzo Oshimi. The reason... Finally, yes, we read Blood on the Tracks. I read Blood on the Tracks. I am at 8 out of 17 now. So I'm trying to keep track of all the New Earth. I'm trying to keep track of all the books that I didn't read so that I can put them on in a read it or run haul challenge. Blood on the Tracks I did read. I got up until volume 10. I think till volume 10. It was good. It's a good series. The reason why I want to read this one is because I heard that if you're a fan of Junji Ito, who writes a lot of horror manga, you would really enjoy Blood on the Tracks, and that's what I want to do then. I want to jump into Blood on the Tracks just because I want to. I think the only horror manga that I have read is horror manga by Junji Ito, so I am very excited to explore horror mangas outside of that specific author, and I can't wait to see what's in store. I have a few other mangas, horror mangas, that I really want to read as well, like The Drifting Classroom, Happiness, PTSD Radio. There's just like so many that I want to read, but we're gonna start with Blood on the Tracks because I bought this one first. I don't know. And then next we have Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. This is a new adult romantasy. I was attempting to read this. I attempted it, and this was after my Onyx Storm hangover, so I just could not get into it. Not that I tried that hard, because I literally didn't get past the first page. So no, I did not read this. A novel that has to do with like a princess, and I know that there's dragons in it. I've heard that if you enjoyed Fourth Wing or you suffered from your Fourth Wing hangover, this book is the book to cure it. It even has like dragons at the beginning of each chapter, kind of like Fourth Wing does. There's Iron Flame. I think it's the same damn dragon too. And I'm excited for that. Yes, give me anything that has to do with dragons. I'm all here for it. Like I want to read a lot of dragons in 2024, okay? Speaking of, I also got this book. Like I said, I want to read more dragons. And it's called Promise and Fire by Jasmine Walt. I did read that one. Hated it. I hated it. I just thought it was so generic. I could not stand the male love interest. I just didn't like it. It didn't make sense to me. The logic behind it, the world building, like, I feel like if you have never read a romantasy book in your life and you want to introduce yourself to romantasy, then you might like it because you don't really know what the romantasy genre entails. But if you're an experienced romantasy reader, I feel like it's nothing new, nothing, you know what I mean? So I didn't like that one. So I just read that one. So we're out of 9 out of 19. This is a completed new adult fantasy series. This is another one that I just like saw keep popping up on Facebook as like, you finished Fourth Wing, what do you read now? This has the slow burn romance that we enjoy with Fourth Wing. I believe it's enemies to lovers as well, except that this one we're following like a fae who can't control like her water magic, and then we follow a dragon that has awoken from their slumber, and I'm just really interested. Okay, I haven't really seen anybody talk about this on BookTube. I want to read it. The next book that I want to read is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. So what I have heard, I've just heard that this is such a good book, and I've read like one book from V.E. Schwab, like A Darker Shade of Magic or something like that. So good. I loved it. I have not read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I really think that I would like it because I enjoy V.E. Schwab's writing. I've read 2 books by this author and I loved them both, but I went through like a really bad like mental thing last year, and I heard that this book, like what this book entails, would have probably made it worse. So I knew that if I read it, I could have possibly just worsened my mental health. So I didn't do it. I almost unhauled it, but I didn't, because I know that, you know, I knew that one day I would be able to overcome it, which I have. And I might put it on the list this year. Who knows? Who knows? Loved it so much that I really do want to read this book. I've just heard so many good things about this. I have not heard like one bad review about this. And I believe this is about a woman named Addie LaRue who makes a deal with the devil. And she basically becomes immortal and she lives forever, but everybody that walks away from her like forgets about her as soon as they meet her. As soon as they leave her, she's forgotten. Like nobody remembers her. And that's all I know, and that's all I need to know. Just, it looks so good. I'm gonna do a whole vlog for this book and a few other books by this author, but like I said, I really want to enter my high fantasy era, and we're gonna start with The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. I really tried. Ugh. I tried other books by Brandon Sanderson, and I should have started with this one. That was my bad. That was my fault. That was my downfall. I really should have. I didn't. And yeah, I didn't read it. It's still on my list, so I put it back on my TBR cart. I put it back on there. This is actually going to be on my TBR for January as well. Another chunker, because I like good books and I cannot lie. But I know that this is a high fantasy series that sort of follows what happens when the bad guys win or something like that. I don't know too much of what it's about, but it's a high fantasy series that's just been praised time and time again. Brandon Sanderson, again, is an author that's just been praised tremendously, and I feel like if you want to read high fantasy, this seems to be the go-to author when you want to get started with that. So I'm going to get started with it. Next, this was in my TBR last year. Didn't happen, but it is going to happen this year. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because I'm making a vlog for it. I better have read this book then. So I'm making a vlog for this. Did you hear that? That's thunder. Holy ravioli, that's thunder. So if you guys don't realize why, I know it's just rain, but you have to understand I live in Southern California, so I'm not used to rain or thunder at all. So thunder is a big deal to me. Not that I'm like, I just thought it was really cool. That's why I reacted like that. If you guys are not from Southern California, you guys are probably like, it's just thunder, it's just rain, like it's not okay. I'm sorry, I get excited. So that was that reaction. Anyways, moving on. I want to read A Court of Mist and Fury. I'm actually going to read the rest of the ACOTAR series in a vlog, okay? I read A Court in Thorns and Roses, have not read the rest of them. Yeah! Put the reading vlog here somewhere. I did read this one as well as the rest of the series. I finished or caught up with ACOTAR and they were great. Second book was really good. Third book was my favorite, to be honest. Is it because I don't like it? No. I loved A Court of Thorns and Roses. Okay, I've read it twice. I just haven't continued. And so I want to make sure that that happens in 2024 because we are vlogging it by February. I'm saying it now. Damn train. By February or March. February if I'm lucky. I'm going to have a whole vlog for this series because I need to. Come on. I think I didn't come out with that vlog till like March or April. This is like the most classic romantasy series ever. Speaking of Sarah J Maas, I want to, and I may or may not vlog this, I want to reread the Throne of Glass series. This is the collector's edition. I have listened to them. I have not physically read them. And I have not read at all the last book, Kingdom of Ash. I haven't read it. So I might do. I have reread or have begun to reread the series. I only got 4 books in, but I did it. I mean, I got through the first one, so I'm still in the process of continuing it and finishing it off. That way I can finally read Crescent City. But yes, I did, and it's just as good the second time. And I still prefer it over ACOTAR. I really do. We're at 11 out of 23. If I have read the last one, that would make me exactly 50% that I read. Last book that I'm gonna finish you off with, I'm very sorry. I thought I was done with my nonfiction, but I'm not. This is called Intuitive Eating, and it's just about how to eat intuitively, and I'm gonna read this in January. Why did I have to finish off with a nonfiction? Obviously, I didn't read this. Damn it, I thought I was gonna at least have 50%. Holy ravioli. That's terrible. I didn't read this. That's it, you guys. A lot of those books, though, were 5 stars. However, I am disappointed that I didn't read all those. I shouldn't have put any. This year, I don't think I put any nonfiction in my list, and if I did, it was just like 1 or 2 because I already know. I know better now than to add all these nonfiction books that I obviously did not read. So that's it. I didn't do terrible. I've seen people that didn't really read any on their list, so I didn't do terrible, but I obviously am not proud of my score at all. And I'm hoping that 2025 will be 25 out of 2025 because I am trying very hard to prioritize these reads, the 2025 reads, over all the rest of the other books. High hopes that all, like most if not all, are read. I want to get at least an 80% score in my 2025 reads. So anyways, you guys, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. I know that it turned nighttime and the lighting is not the best, but thank you for sticking with me till the very end. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. Please turn on that notification bell to be notified when I post. I'm gonna eat this little chocolate because it looks good, it looks scrumptious, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.